Hello, hello, hello. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to. When you have updates to something and it messes up how things go. Okay. All right. All right. Hey, Rising Phoenix, how you doing? What's up? Good to see you. Hi. How you doing? If I look tired, that's because I am. So earlier today, house cleaning before we get started. I received a message earlier today that 5 of my former colleagues are missing. These were victims advocates that I worked with. They are missing. 5 were disappeared off the streets of the US, the United States of America. So here's what happened. A couple of months ago, I think 3 or 4 months ago, I have lost track of time. Around the time, maybe a week or 2 after, I started randomly grabbing people and attacking them and taking them up off the streets with no identification, no badges, no patches, no nothing, not advising anyone of who they were or what was going on, right? Around that time, bad things started happening. I'll be right back. 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. And we have a lovely mic. Okay, so around that time, someone tried to force entry into the office where my former colleagues worked, and tried to gain access to the files. The files pertain to victims of SA, gender-based violence, right? DV, all of that. So the only way anyone can gain access to those files is if they have a court order from a judge. Law enforcement for an investigation, things like that. But they were trying to force their way in, but they would not tell anyone why, who they were, what was going on, anything. They were denied access, and when someone started to call law enforcement, they left out real quick. Yes, there were security cams around, and people have that video feed. Their vehicles didn't have license plates and no markings. So they, could have been anyone. Could be a psycho ex who thought they could take advantage. Could have been anyone. There's no reason for anyone to have access to those files. And now I have had confirmation that 5 of my former colleagues are just disappeared. Nobody knows where they are. So that's a thing in the United States right now. So we're going to talk about preemptive smear campaigns in this video. What is a preemptive smear campaign? Abusers love to cause harm to their victims, right? Sometimes they will, behind your back, when you don't know what they're doing, they'll go around to friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, etc., and just start to talk smack about you. Maybe a lot of the time, they try to say that you're an addict of some kind. It could be alcohol, narcotics, who knows. You're promiscuous or something. You steal from people, whatever. And it could be just completely out of left field. Like you're not like that. You don't do that. But it doesn't matter. They will create the narrative that you are somehow a foul person to what? To isolate you from everyone around you. All right. No plates on the cars. Yeah. No plates. Your ex-fiancée spread a bunch of nonsense after she left you. Right, well, this preemptive smear campaigns is before you even leave. It may be before you even know they're abusive. This can be as we've talked about before, anyone can be an abuser, anyone can be abusive or abused, right? So it could be a friend, coworker, could be a boss. I've seen that happen. Could be a family member, like an extended family member, um, a friend of a friend. It could be anyone doing this, right? When you realize that this is going on, you're going to automatically feel the need to defend yourself, which to some people will make them think that you are guilty, right? So it's a hard situation to try to decide what you should or should not do in that situation. Me personally, I've had people do this to me before. This one psycho was rolling around telling people that I believed in aliens and I had been abducted and all this weird stuff. I don't even believe in aliens. Okay. I aliens, no, I don't. That's not me. So those people who knew me knew that that was bunk. And those people who did not know me, a lot of them fell for it, and they would come up to me and be like, "So, when were you abducted?" Now, this is how I found out about this, by the way. I just looked at him like I was like, "What are you talking about? What?" I don't believe in aliens. I listen, could aliens be out there? Sure, sure. But until they land in front of my place and come out asking me for my leader, which I will then tell them, "You don't want our leaders, okay, at all." Um, I'm just I don't. Okay, so with smear campaigns, it's always difficult because they usually go for the jugular, right? The thing that's gonna hurt you the worst. They do that same thing with preemptive smear campaigns, and depending on your situation, you could be dealing with a huge amount of flying monkeys and fleas who feel like they're going to be doing you a favor to help out, right? Which is never a favor. You could also be dealing with within yourself a thing called betrayal blindness. You think how this person could never do that, could never. Hold on one sec. I love this microphone. I love this microphone because it turns green when it's on and red when it's off. So therefore, I know because the whole you're muted thing, right? Okay, so what do you do when you're dealing with a preemptive smear campaign? It's next to impossible to prove negative, but what you can do is rely on those people that know you. And I have done this. I've asked the people who know me to make it clear that whatever thing is not true. And that does work to a degree. But if you are dealing with this and within yourself, you're feeling betrayal blindness, which is is a term coined by Dr. Ramani, I do believe. Um, what is betrayal blindness? It's when either as a survival tactic, you choose to just kind of ignore it, let it go, let it slide, just not even bother with it, right? Or you refuse to face it. So let's say you were conned by someone. Someone sold you a whole lot of future promising. Oh, we're going to make America great again. We're going to stop all the immigrants and all this and that, all those criminals. You were conned by a con artist, a known con artist who bankrupts every business he gets his hands on. You're conned. What then? Is it easier to sit in the betrayal blindness and just let it envelop you and just let everything go? Or is it easier to face the fact that you have been betrayed? Accept that fact. Understand that the person who conned you is doing smear campaigns all over the place, including preemptive smear campaigns, which is projection, because they usually project off onto the other people what they themselves are doing. What they themselves are doing, right? So, for example, an abuser says that you're sleeping around all over the place. You're actually not, and you're stunned and surprised. You're like, why are you even saying this? Because they are probably themselves cheating all over the place. Okay? Just keep all of that in mind. Now, I have to go over here and hello to everyone who's watching the live stream. Hi, hi, hi. How you doing? What's up? I have all kinds of videos saved on here, but I have to find them. I have too many tabs open and I have one screen. So, okay. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone feeling today? There's a lot going on and a lot of it is not good. A lot of people are feeling very scared, rightly so. Um, okay. No, no, I didn't want you to play. Stop. Okay. Um, I have a whole lot of videos saved because, okay, first off, has anyone ever seen a president up on the roof of the White House just bumbling around? Anyone ever? Because I've never seen that before, and I'm 51. Phoenix says, I'm doing okay-ish. I've got tattoo therapy tomorrow. I'm so jealous. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also making myself some food. Right on, right on. I wish. I wish I could go get a tattoo right now. I really do. So you got a president who goes up on the roof of the White House, bumbling around, talking about how he's paying for all this, talking about the ballroom, the what, $200 million some odd friggin' ballroom that he's going to have built for the White House when they don't actually need that. But meanwhile, they're taking healthcare away from just about everyone in the US who is poor and broke and letting insurance companies do whatever they want with no repercussions. It basically deregulated all of that. And on top of that, if any kind of disaster happens around you in the US right now, you are on your own because they pretty much gutted NOAA and FEMA. FEMA had problems. There were problems, but something is better than nothing. And I happen to know because I worked in disaster relief. I knew a lot of people who worked in FEMA who they were doing the goddess's work. They were trying to do good for people. Hey, Sleepy, how you doing? What's up? It's good to see you. Meanwhile, at the same time, you remember Doge? You remember Big Balls? That douche canoe. Apparently, there was a massive data breach at the Social Security Administration, right? Because all of that information was released to the public. All of the Social Security data. Okay, I don't have headphones here, I don't think. Hold on, let me I don't see any headphones, so I will have to do this a different kind of way. This is from Jess Craven 101. Give me one sec. These 2 videos are pretty important. I just need to remember how to do the things. One sec. They've changed the layout on here, so it was also sent to other departments. What was which thing? Okay, share screen. Do, do, do. Okay, give me one sec. I have to go back over here now. SSN sent to ICE. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Which is the lawsuits that are going to come out from this are going to be just insane. All right, so I'm going to play this for you. I really like this content creator. After the live stream, I will put her videos up. Hold on. God darn it. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Let me know if you can hear her because I don't have headphones right now. Can you all hear her? Because I'm not hearing her. No, shoot. All right. I will be right back. I have to go see if I have headphones somewhere I can. All right, we're going to try a couple of different things. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Why is it I can hear on the mic, but I'm not hearing? One sec. Let me see if that works. It's ah. Okay, let's try this.
Settings.
Tech support doing his thing.
I'm not sure why it's not coming through. You do have your volume up here. You're live. That's lovely. Can you hear it?
I can hear you. I can't hear the video.
Yeah, the video's playing now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll play with it and figure it out later.
Okay. I need to finish clearing out my phone, by the way.
Huh?
I'm just clearing out all this stuff in my phone, by the way.
Oh, right on. All right, all right, all right. We'll have to find another way of doing this. That's fine. Well, that's irritating. We'll find another way, though. It's fine. Because where there's a will, there's a way. Tech gremlins are something, man. Like, okay. So I'm on a laptop now. Like I'm on a whole different thing at the moment. And this light is way too bright for me. My eyes are, ouch. Okay. So there have been several security breaches involving Doge and people who were working for Doge, especially big balls. In what universe is it acceptable to have someone named Big Balls? Who that's their nickname? That's what they're known by. Whatever. Okay. There was a breach at the National Labor Relations Board, and also through the Social Security records. That's huge. Anyone else that would end their career, period. Okay. Okay. So I can't share these videos with you yet. I will work on that and figure it out. I found out about something and I was kind of stunned. There was an explosion at a Louisiana oil plant, leaving a whole community coated in toxic fallout. Oily rain fell on Roseland, where 90% of the children live in poverty. The Trump administration is considering gutting chemical disaster safeguards. It isn't that he's considering it, he's pretty much already done it. Okay. I have several videos showing all of the just filth all over everything. It's in the water. It's all over the place down there. August 22nd, a catastrophic explosion erupted at Smitty's Supply, a major lubricant manufacturing facility in a predominantly black town about 60 miles northeast of Baton Rouge. They've had problems before. This is not the first time that this place has had problems like this, okay? An analysis of water and soil following the explosion detected arsenic, barium, chromium, lead, and other hazardous materials like cancer-causing, I can't even pronounce this, all right? I'm not even going to try because I have a speech impediment. The agency maintains the position that the toxins are not a threat to human life. Yeah, but they don't view Black people as being human. So, oily droplets splattered from this smoky sky as far as 20 miles away, coating rooftops, cars, front lawns in a slick, shimmering film that glistened like tar. The videos of this are astonishing. It's astonishing. And what is even more astonishing is that people in that area have been told to clean it up themselves. Not the company. Not that the company should have to pay crews of people to come through and clean up. No. Not that FEMA's going to come help and do anything. Not the Army Corps of Engineers. Not anyone. People are just going to be on their own to clean up an oil spill with all kinds of toxins. I've already talked with several people that live down there because I used to live not far from there, actually, for maybe about a year and a half. And they're saying that they are yet again dealing with like sores on their skin, just redness, irritation on their skin because that it's in the air, but also the respiratory system. So it's hard to breathe. Okay. Headaches, migraines, stomach problems, all kinds of like nauseous all the time. That's because you're breathing in all those toxins that are now in the air, in the water, in the soil, everywhere. And if you go fishing, you don't want to eat the fish. You don't want to go hunting because all the animals and everything around there is now contaminated. And this administration does not care. And Louisiana is mostly a red state. So a lot of the people down that way might have voted for this administration, which is going to let them sit there and suffer and do nothing to help them, which has already happened in several other places. Like in Texas, you had the flash flood all over the place. Any place that there's a disaster now in the U.S., you're on your own. This is what happens when you let a narcissist run the country as president. When you let someone who shows you and tells you that he hates all of these different groups of people, he's not telling you all of the groups of people he hates because he also hates poor people. And so much of the American population is living in poverty now. I didn't know the leopards would eat my face, right? Right? Right there. It's going to get bad, bad. As someone who worked in disaster relief for a long time, it's going to get real bad because this is hurricane season right now. Part of the reason I'm talking about this right now is because just a couple of days ago, it was the anniversary of Katrina. Things are getting worse. Things are escalating environmentally. Natural disasters are getting worse. Things like Tornado Alley are moving. You worked Katrina. Did you work in New Orleans, or because there were people working all over the place for Katrina? I worked in Katrina too. In New Orleans. And it sucked. And things were bad then for Katrina. How bad are they going to be if there's another Katrina? When you know damn well nobody's coming. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think about Katrina and I just go to bad places. Because all of that could have been avoided. All the bad things that happened could have been avoided. It's all about who is in charge. And do they care about people? Back then, when there was more help, I couldn't. Yeah. There were a lot of people who, like me, I drove through the remnants of Rita. I was up in like the mountains of Tennessee, almost flying off the mountains. I was in like a sedan. Like it was insane, dude. I should write a book. I got surrounded by semi trucks who like realized I was going to go flying off the side of this mountain, right? They surrounded me. And like at first I was like, oh my God, what is even happening? It was something. And now if there's another Katrina type storm, it's going to be even worse because you're not going to have FEMA. And a lot of these states and cities, they are not helping communities of color. They are not helping people of color. And multiple disasters that have gone down since Trump took office, they have not been helping people of color. They've been helping the white communities. Period. I've been keeping track of that. I have just a ton of videos I was going to show today, but I'll have to figure that out and then I'll show them to you. This is insane. This is the systemic racism that people of color have been talking about and BIPOC people have been talking about for years. Now you're going to see it in action, in your face. If news broadcasters, news stations actually show you. But a lot of them are not showing you what's going down. How many of you have heard about what is happening in Roseland right now? Because some of these videos I had to dig for and search for to find them. It's people on social media who are showing them. Ronald Reagan, they passed a law that can send homeless people to institutions without consent. Yeah, and Ronald Reagan shut down a lot of the mental health facilities that were there. Roseland, Louisiana. Yeah, that's where the hold on, what are they calling it now? I forget already. The explosion at the Louisiana oil plant, that was in Roseland, Louisiana. Everyone in the country should know about this. This is a big deal because hunting is a big part of revenue. People from all over the world go to Louisiana for fishing, hunting, all of that. Hunting alligator, etc. So, first time you've heard about it. The people in Roseland are some of the hardest working people I've ever met. Like they are working hard just to survive. And it's the entire community. Black people and white people need to realize that they are both working their whole asses off to survive in the South. Both. All of the communities who are poor. If you're not a millionaire or a billionaire, and you're white, you have way more in common with a person who is black, indigenous, etc., than you do with a billionaire who hates you, by the way. Trump hates you. You're not have you received an invitation to Mar-a-Lago? Have you received an invitation to the White House? No, you have not, because you are broke, bitch, and he doesn't care about you. He wanted your vote, but now he doesn't need that anymore. So now he's telling you straight up he doesn't care about you. Don't live in the land of betrayal blindness. You have been betrayed. Suck it up, accept it, and get mad at him. Yeah. I'm hoping that some MAGA will see this video. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at him. I mean, after that park flood where those wealthy children were unalived because no one got the alerts, people should have been aware then that if wealthy people are not safe, you're not safe either. I mean, Donald don't care about no broke. Exactly. At all. At all. You're dealing with a man who has literally had people enslaved in other countries working for him and also treated people in the United States like they were his slaves. He has bankrupted small family-owned businesses left, right, and center. It's all documented. Just type in Donald Trump bankrupts mom and pop company. Here, I'll do it right now. Hold on. I'll do it right now. He loves doing this. Because a small company sues him after they've done the work and they have to then take him to court. And most people can't afford the lawyer fees. Okay. Nope, that's about Donald Trump. Every Trump business that went bankrupt. Small business owners Trump never paid in full. Let's look at this one. This is CNN. We'll look at this one. We'll check it out. We'll just have a little look-see. Just so I can prove my point. And by the way, that's why he talks smack about newspapers and news sources, because he doesn't like the fact that many of them tell people what's actually going on with him. Toxic people despise the truth. Period, point blank. They hate it. They cannot thrive in the light where everyone can see what they're doing. They can only thrive in the darkness of silence. Okay. Is there any lag or anything going on with the vision or the sound, by the way? That's how he's always run his business, but people seem to think it's okay to shaft the common person, which is all of us, most of us. Yes, exactly. Well, his followers think they will be exempt, but they have not been, and they're finding that out the hard way. Maids, contractors, so on. Yep. Okay, finally, thank you. We just had to move everything into this room, and it's a thing. All right, thank you, Phoenix. Okay. The small business owners Trump never paid in full. Let's look at this. Ugh. I'm so sorry for having his face on my channel. It was like we won the lottery, Beth Roser remembers. Her dad, Forrest Jenkins, had just secured a large contract to work at the biggest prize in Atlantic City, Donald Trump's Taj Mahal. Sorry, I can't. His company installed toilet partitions, not exactly glamorous, but important nonetheless. It was 1988, and a six-figure contract was huge. It was a big job. It was great. We were all excited, says Forrest's son, Stephen Jenkins. Jenkins spent a month working at the Taj. I had the fuzz from those carpets in the wheels of my dolly for months after the job. But what seemed like a winning ticket soon turned into a nightmare when the paycheck never came. We weren't this big company, remembers Rosier, who now runs the company with her brother Stephen. We didn't have tons of money in an account somewhere to cover things. Jenkins says his dad, who built the company from nothing, nearly lost everything. And that's Forrest Jenkins. The most expensive casino ever built in Atlantic City filed for bankruptcy in 1991, just 2 years after its glitzy grand opening. I have a huge question that I have got to ask right now, okay? I gotta ask. How do you bankrupt a casino? How the F do you bankrupt a casino? What exactly was, why wasn't there a full investigation into how the hell that happened? Because if I'm not mistaken, it was more than one casino. Huge payouts. Has to be. Like, it makes no sense to me, dude. Dude, it makes no sense to me. Ah. Okay. Okay. The bankruptcy meant companies like Triad Building Specialties didn't get paid. After years of fighting through bankruptcy court, the Jenkins ended up with just 30 cents on the dollar. Their company was owed, man, I can't even say this out loud, dude. Like, according to the bankruptcy claim filed in the case, the Jenkins family received 70. God, I can't. This is some BS, dude. The Jenkins family realized they weren't alone. Dozens of contractors who had worked with the construction were also getting shafted. 27 years later, and I still grit my teeth every time I see him on television blustering about what a wonderful businessman he is. I tried to stand up to him, but it's exhausting. So this is from CNN Politics. This is the small business owners Trump never paid in full by Laura Dolan and Jessica Schneider. Okay. He's such a great businessman, though. What is that called, y'all? What is that called? I'm going to let y'all answer what that is. That's an abuse tactic. It is an abuse tactic. Also, anytime he's called out for his shitty business practices, anytime that he has someone actually taking him to task, he Darvos. Darvos deny and or deflect. Thank you. Attack, reverse, victim, and offender. He loves doing that, but it's the whole GOP. The whole GOP is doing that. All of the MAGA are doing that. A majority of what they do is projection, Darvo, and manipulation. Literally, I can sit there and watch anyone in the GOP, anyone that's on Trump's cabinet, Trump himself exactly, and it's just like, okay, Darvo, projection, future promising. Like, I'm just going down the list of all of the things. And I'm like, no, how do people not see this? How do the people who are in MAGA not see this? It's betrayal blindness. I love Dr. Imani. I friggin' adore her. She's a national treasure. Um, yeah. Got money through government contracts on rent-controlled apartments. Somebody else is making a whole lot of money off of government contracts. Actually, a few people. In the winnings while restricting who can go. Right. The only real money he has is through the trust fund his father set up. With that is released every so often. His businesses are far in the red. Yes, but I mean, now he's making money off of being in the White House. Him and his children and their significant others. Yes. Yep. Yes, indeed. It's stunning, really. Betrayal blindness is the perfect way to explain what looks like is happening with MAGA. But also, all of the, I went through and I was looking at the bite model. I was looking at a couple other modalities of understanding what is going on within a group as well. Not just the bite model, but there are several others. And I was just checking off the list and like, yep. It's a cult. It is definitely a cult. And listening to, during the time that I have not been live streaming and all that, I have been just hyperfixating, digging, learning as much as I can so that we can talk about this, right? And what I'm finding is a lot of the people who are in MAGA right now, who are still in MAGA anyway, because a lot of people have left MAGA because they're seeing the writing on the wall. A lot of those people who are still in MAGA are, I'm trying to say this without being mean, have brain damage in some way, like head trauma, concussions, things like that. You okay, babe? So when the Trump administration is trying to say that anyone who has any kind of mental illness or anything like that, which would include brain damage, that all those people should be put into wellness camps for their own good, and that can be anyone. This right here, that too. That would include anyone who is on medications that would help with any kind of brain damage, head trauma, concussions, epilepsy. You're depressed? Are you depressed? What's not to be depressed over, though, in the US? Your food is poisoned, your water is poisoned, your air, your soil, everything is poisoned. It's going to be more so. Just look at Roseland and other places where disasters have happened. You have to work 3 or 4 jobs just to eke by a living. Rent is through the roof. Everything is too expensive. They're trying to force women to have all the babies they can possibly have, but you don't have any medical care. And if something goes wrong during the pregnancy, you're probably just going to die. But have all those babies. What's not to be depressed over? What's not to have panic attacks, anxiety attacks, all of the things. So they're trying to criminalize having a response to the trauma that you are experiencing because the country's traumatizing you. And if you end up homeless because they're letting people charge ridiculous rent prices and everything else prices, well, then you're going to be criminalized too. That's not the land of the free, home of the brave. That's the land of the incarcerated. At first they were, yeah. Yep. Yep, schools and hospitals are shutting down. And in some school districts, they are trying to apparently preemptively and whenever possible kick problem children out of school in kindergarten. So any child that they look at and think will be a problem child, they want to kick them out of school. All right. Who do you think are going to be the kiddos that they decide are going to be the problems? It's going to be the people of color, their children, poor people, a child with ADHD or on the spectrum. And then you got RFK Jr., that whack job with a dead brain worm in his brain, saying that he knows what is or is not this, that, or the third. He's not a scientist. He's not a doctor. He's a whack job who will swim in sewage with his grandbabies. Yep. Yep, yep. Anyone that they don't like. And I'm sure it'll be any child they think is LGBTQ plus too, whether that child is or is not. America is the laughing stock of the world. I can tell you that for 1000% sure. Because I'm in Scotland, and when I go outside, I'll talk to my neighbors. I'll just say hi to anyone, whatever. And they're like, "Where are you from?" I hope you're from Canada. Are you from the US? I've had people be like, "I'm so sorry." Like the other day, we went to a store, and the lady there was like, "Oh, you're from the US. Oh, are you a Trump supporter?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." It's like, "Oh, that's good because he's crazy, huh?" Yes, he is. We do not claim him. I don't think he won the election, by the way. I think that all of they stole the election was a preemptive smear campaign. Yes, ma'am, we are in Scotland. If you watch the beginning of the video, I explain why we left. We had no choice but to leave because Maki's grandmother was born and raised in Peru. His abuelita, not white. His dad passes and he can pass, but I mean, he's got naturally dark hair and brown eyes. Like he tans, he goes out in the sun for 5 minutes and he's got a tan. So, yeah, when was it? I don't remember. Phoenix, do you remember when we moved here? I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago now. It is nice here, y'all. The food tastes so good. The water tastes like water. It doesn't taste like chemicals. It's just beautiful, heartbreakingly beautiful here. I don't ever wanna go back to the US. No, listen, that is downplaying it. The Scottish people, I'm not gonna cry. I am not gonna cry. They are some of the sweetest human beings I think I've met in a long time. Like, I forgot what it was like to be around people who were capable of empathy and compassion, just on the regular. I forgot. Because in the US, we're all you're all in survival mode so fucking hard. Here, when we go, listen, look, when we go into a grocery store here, everyone's relaxed. Their shoulders are relaxed. They're not like, looking around for the exit and what does that dude? Does that dude have a gun? And like, people are not scared here, is what I'm saying. Because here, there was a school shooting. I think it was like 16, 17 children and a teacher were unalived. And immediately they were like, absolutely not. And they put gun regulations in place. No one's looking for the exits. Yep. That right there. I have pretty much been in shock since we got here. Like, people are walking around with the dogs and they're just completely relaxed. Kiddos are going to school and you don't see the parents just looking like when baby girl would go to school. in Traverse City, which is where we were living before this, okay, I would see it on the parents' faces. They were, you're just scared. You're scared to take your kids to school because they may not come home. And the GOP and the federal government of the United States of America is allowing this to happen. There's no reason there should be guns of war allowed to be owned by citizens. Because let me tell you something, you think that's going to protect you from the feds? Bitch, please. Absolutely, please. There's no reason for anyone to have those weapons. But GOPers and MAGA are willing to sacrifice their children on the altar of Moloch. Tell me if you know what I'm saying. 1996, right. Laws were put into place by the turn of the millennium. There were no privately owned firearms in houses in the UK. Yep. Oh, shit. Yes. Yeah. And they actually don't even need the drones. They can do that without the drones, but they can use the drones if they want to. I'm just saying, like, your little Uzi or whatever is not going to save you. Nope. When he first got into office, I was so distraught, and I kept telling people about the propaganda that was so blatant on social media. People thought I was crazy. And then it turns out you were not crazy. Neither was I. It turns out Russia and Pooty Poot was helping him. Gee, I wonder why. Why is that? Why is it that Trump was not invited to this summit in China with Russia and all of them? If he's best buds with Pooty Poot, then why wasn't he invited? I would really like to know. I have questions. Anyone else? So the US is a massive shit show, and it's only going to get worse. And I'm sorry. So many people warned y'all. I literally do not think that Harris lost the election. I don't think that Trump won the election. I think that Trump did a preemptive smear campaign so that him and Musk could steal the election. And then Democrats would be less likely to say, hey, there's something wrong here, but there's a lot coming up showing that they might not have won the election. Like, for real. The Epstein stuff is, that is a rabbit hole. That is a huge rabbit hole. Why won't he release the Epstein files, MAGA? Why won't he release everything? Didn't he say he was gonna? Didn't he promise? Wasn't that one of his campaign promises? But he was best buds with Epstein for a long time, and his name is all up in those files. That's why he had to have a cadre of FBI agents and agents from other divisions going through those files to redact his name out of there, because that's how much he was in there. Because that's how much he was up Epstein's whole ass. Okay, I'm not even gonna listen. Come on now. Why do y'all think that Trump had, what was it, Miss USA? I mean, come on. Told that you were drinking the Kool-Aid. You were? You were not. No, you were not. They were. He's in the list. He's on the list. He's in the file. See, there are lists. There's Epstein's phone book. Then there's the list of people that flew with him on his little plane to visit his island. And then there are the people who just hung out at his places in Florida and Miami and New York, NYC, and he had other properties elsewhere too. Okay. So there are lists of people. Yes, there are. And then also there are the files. And I'm sure that there is a lot there of a lot of people. And Trump turns around and calls the victims, some of those victims are Trump's victims. He calls them comfort women. They were little girls. That term comfort women comes from Japan when Japan invaded China with the rape of Nanjing. Just an FYI, that's where that term comes from. Comfort women. But they were little girls. They were not women. And I'm so sick of seeing mainstream news media sources and social media people all over the place calling young women minor women, or calling young girls, little girls, minor women, or underaged women. There's no such fucking thing. There is no such fucking thing as a minor woman. There is no such fucking thing as an underaged woman. There is only little girls. Those are little girls. And we need to start really hammering that point home so that they cannot get away with normalizing little girls being harmed. But also, by the way, Trump was credibly accused of harming little boys too. So it doesn't seem to matter to him what gender a child is. He'll just harm them. But that's why those files have not been released. Because he's all up in there. And look at a majority of the people that he has on his cabinet. Of the men, Hegseth, have you looked into that dude? Talk about hating women. Miller, ew. Just so many of them are P3DOs and abusers. That's what they are. That's what he surrounded himself with, and that's what he is. Okay. It was actually Flavor Aid, but yeah. He's prominent. Yes, he is. Hey, Rixie, how you doing? I wish I could work. I miss yarn so much right now. I miss my yarn. Melania and Ivanka are on. Yes. This right here. Guess who else is? Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi and a bunch of others. So, yes, they are. They're trying to lower the age of marriage for children. That, so gross and disgusting. Why do you suppose he was so upset when Epstein stole VG from his spa? Wasn't that an abnormal response? That's disgusting is what that was. He speaks of employees as if they're property, his property, because that's how he thinks of people. Yes, there are. And the only good place for a PDF is the grave. Period, point blank. I think they should have a life sentence. But then again, I'm for capital punishment for people like that, so I have no sympathy. And I know a lot of people like to make excuses. I don't make a single fucking excuse for a P3DO. You made your choice. You chose to do that. You die now, in my opinion. If y'all don't mind, like the video, tap on the screen. I do believe you can do extra taps now, kind of like TikTok. Share, do all the things. Every little bit helps, especially like if you're commenting in the comment section, not just in chat too. Like all of that helps because I've been fighting depression, but I'm gonna force myself to get back into live streaming and get back to it. I feel like I literally have to now because 5 of my former colleagues went missing and were disappeared up off the streets of the US. And these are good people who were victims advocates. Kind-hearted, good people. Most of them had a hobby of like volunteering at a food bank or food pantry or community gardens or who knows what else. These were good, kind-hearted people, and they have just been disappeared off the streets, and I'm fucking livid. I am fucking pissed, y'all. You know that pissed where you're, like, smiling and people may think you're alright, but you're about ready, like, a nanosecond away from becoming Dexter? I'm pissed. I wanna know where my friends are. I want to know what the fuck. When you work in that field, you cannot have a criminal record, okay? So a lot of us are very careful about what we do, what we don't do. Even just driving, you don't wanna even, like, catch yourself a friggin' traffic ticket, right? Because you've got clients you have to take care of. Like, I'm so pissed off right now. I'm smiling, but I'm actually really I'm fluctuating between thoroughly pissed, laughing so I don't scream, or just wanting to cry. Like it's yep, yes indeed. That's the moment when Jack comes through the door with an axe. That's about how I felt earlier today. I was like, in order to like remain sane, I'm just gonna live stream. So there's no telling how many times I will be live streaming because at this point it might become my coping mechanism. Okay, I just have to remember how I have to get the thing to work with me so I can have sound on the videos I'm trying to share. Um, yeah, today was well the past few months. Well, since the election. Okay, since the election, it has been rough for everyone who has a brain and is capable of empathy and compassion and care for your fellow human, and you're not a fake Christian, these fake fucking Christians. Okay, if you have not looked into Project 2025 and Project Esther, then you may not be aware that evangelicals are going to try to completely destroy the entire world. It isn't just the US, it's the whole world. Okay, they're gonna start they're really they've honed their skills in a couple countries in Africa and a couple other places, and now they think they've got it down to perfection so they can do it in the US. And if they can take down the US, they're gonna go everywhere else. They're already trying in other countries right now. Canada. What's happening in the Philippines right now? They tried it in South Korea. They're trying to take this worldwide. Just keep that in mind. If you don't fight now, then when? So what can be some solutions? Let's talk about some solutions. I had videos lined up. My apologies. I have to get the sound working, but a lot of people are coming together in interesting ways. You got people who are working at food banks, pantries, community gardens, community centers, LGBTQ plus community centers, all kinds of different places to come together. There are people who are in thread arts circles, knitting circles, crochet circles, etc., who are coming together. Go to meetup.com, see if you can find people in your local area. Go to Facebook groups and see if you can find a group in your local area with like minded people and come together. It doesn't matter what country you're in now, baby, because they're going to take this or try to take this global. Now, back before Roe fell, I said they're going to try. They're going to try to destroy Roe. And if Roe falls, it'll be the first domino. I don't even know how many times I said that. What happened? Roe fell. Now they're trying to take away women and everybody else's right to vote, gay marriage, interracial marriage will be on there, baby. They want to bring back Jim Crow. You know they want to bring back slavery, right? We're not talking about sane people here. We're talking about Nazis. What do Nazis do? They destroy everyone around them, is what they do, including themselves and people they love. They destroy everyone and everything. That's what they do. They will call it something else. They will call what something else? I talked about a lot of things, so I'm sorry. Now, at some point, when we get these live streams up with more people and stuff, we're going to have more people come up in the box and all of that and do all the things because we got to start talking about solutions. We talk about the bad shit that's happening, but we got to start focusing on solutions because with these tariffs, the way all the prices and all that stuff are going up and everything else, we're going to have to talk about solutions for people. We cannot have children starving and stuff. We just, Jim Crow. Yeah. Yep. The ugly law. A lot of people don't know about the ugly law. Back in the day, if you were someone who was not attractive enough, or if you had any kind of handicap, physical, mental, or birth defect, anything like that, you were not allowed to be out in public because you might disturb people. So families would hide family members in their attic or their basement or put them in an asylum or something and just leave them and forget about them. Personally, I don't want to see that happen again. I'll go look it up after this live stream's over. I would just play it, but I don't have the sound going on right now. So, I mean, this is a time of great change. And the outcome of this great change is up to everyone. It's up to absolutely everyone. Now, part of the reason we moved away was for the safety of Maki and baby girl, okay? Because if they bring back the one drop rule, she's not white enough. Neither am I, because I'm part Cherokee. Let that sink in. One drop rule. We need to talk about this. I'm glad I looked at my notes. The one drop rule, according to that, if you had one drop of blood that was not white, you were not white. And in the Jim Crow era, that meant that you fell under the Jim Crow law. Well, now, even if you might be able to pass, like me, look at me, okay? Hi. You would never think, right? They can look at your DNA now. They can look at your genetic material now and see your ancestry. That's part of the reason in a lot of indigenous cultures, they don't want their people getting their DNA tested, except for in certain, by certain labs and whatnot, to try to keep that information from being accessed by the feds. That's why I have not had my DNA tested, nor will I. Now, what my parents do is different. Like my one parent who is not indigenous, that's up to them. That will have no bearing because they're European. That's it, right? So you may think that you can pass, and you may think that you are all European. And there are some people who are in that psycho group who are deluded enough to think that, well, I'm part indigenous. It'll be fine. Nobody will worry about it. Please. Please. You're going to have a whole lot of people who, if this goes down, catch a very rude awakening. And I will laugh from my guts. And I will say, fuck you from my gut. It covered all kinds of people. Yep. Yes, it did. That ugly law was ugly. The sheer number of people who are going to suffer from what the Trump administration is trying to do is going to be astronomical. And if somehow, some way, the U.S. pulls its head, the feds pull their heads out of their asses and realize that they don't want to go down this road, the lawsuits that are going to come out from this are going to be friggin' astonishing. And everyone should be able to sue those people personally. All of them. Stephen Miller. And that's another thing. Trump has immunity as the president, but none of the people around him do. Think about that for a second. None of them have immunity. But Trump does not have immunity, or would not have immunity from The Hague. And guess what? Just following orders is not an excuse. It was not an excuse during the Nuremberg trials. So all of these people on ICE, etc., who think they're going to have it easy and they're fine, Trump will back them. He won't back you. He doesn't care about you. He only pardoned the people he pardoned to make you think that he was going to back you. But he didn't pay any of their lawyer bills, though, did he? He could have, but he didn't. Yep. All right, I need to stretch my back, use the restroom, heat up my coffee. I'm just gonna download all of my frustration and irritation on these streams, because until my 5 colleagues are released and back with their families, I'm gonna be like a pit bull going for the jugular. If certain presidential administrations want to fuck around, if they want to fuck around, they're going to find out. The truth is the truth. It doesn't change because you don't like it. What is it they used to say? Facts don't care about your feelings. Well, facts don't care about your feelings, motherfucker. And by the way, is he even still alive? Tomorrow there's supposed to be a big what were they calling it? I can't show you the video now. There's supposed to be a big announcement. Who knows what that might be, what clusterfuck it will be, what, like, fucking House of Horrors, Rob Zombie style this is going to be, right? Today? Was it today? Later, I think. Oh, God. I can only imagine. It's like living in a horror movie. Oh, wait, Stephen King wrote a book that was similar to this, and even Stephen King's, like, disturbed by Trump. 7 p.m. Yay. Well, I might come on and live stream later then. So if you can think of solutions, suggestions, anything, if you have any ideas, if you have videos, articles, you name it, if you're in my Discord, or, if we're friends on Blue Sky, or on TikTok, message me, hit me up. This is some bullshit. Like, at this point, I cannot even advise someone who's dealing with a stalker or in a DV situation or has any need of legal relief or remedy in a situation, because I don't know what the laws are anymore. I have a degree in criminal justice, and I'm pretty sure that my degree is fucking worthless. Like, I might as well just wipe my ass with it. So that's 4 years in the toilet and a whole lot of college debt. I'm actually going to reach out to the university I went to and be like, fuck you. What do I owe you money for now? It doesn't even exist anymore. Where are all the laws that you had me learn, cram in my fucking cranium? Your degree is useless now. And how many other people are in that same situation? Attorneys, advocates, doctors, law enforcement. And what they're doing in DC and now threatening to do in Chicago, what it looks like they're gearing up to do in Chicago is going to be a fucking nightmare. They want people to fight back violently so that they can justify. Basically, the US is in a civil war right now. It's a civil war when the president is using National Guard troops from red states to attack blue states and cities and DC. And by the way, those National Guard troops are not being paid properly. they're supposed to get benefits that kick in on the 30th day, but they're being let go on the 29th day, and then some of them taken back on the 31st day, so that anyone they can screw over, they will screw over. And there should be a big, huge neon warning, not even sign, building, okay, a Trump building sign in neon. Hey, military, they will screw you over, period, point blank. They're trying to gut the VA. Who does that affect? The military and the National Guard. All of them, all of the National Guard forces. The crime rates in Chicago have gone down so drastically that it is a phenomenal, amazing thing to see. But he's still trying to use, well, it's a crime-ridden city, blah, 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 blah. Does he even know if it is or not? Because I don't think he's cognitively aware. I think people like Stephen Miller and all them are filling his head with lies, and he's like, oh, yeah, and just going with it because he doesn't read. He doesn't look things up for himself. So how would he know? He's not listening to the people who would tell him the truth. And if Trump unalives, I hope and pray he does not unalive. Here's why. Who's sitting in the wings waiting? Who is his understudy? J.D. Vance, a dude who converted to Catholicism to make Peter Thiel happy, a dude who wears a whole lot of eyeliner and makeup himself. What's with the smoky eye, right? And Peter Thiel is a gay dude. And who paid Vance's way in to be vice president? Peter Thiel. I think that J.D. Vance is Peter Thiel's lover, and he, had to do what he had to do to get where he is now. The whole administration is delusional. The whole and the cosplaying from the one chick is just astonishing. Like, what are you even doing? Like, what the? It's astonishing, y'all. It's astonishing. And also disgusting. But here we are in 2025. I hate to ask, but what is 2026 going to look like, right? So if you're in the US right now, baby, look up how you can plant potatoes. You can do like a big barrel just full of potatoes. They have potato sacks where the side opens. You just plant all kinds of potatoes, baby. I have friends who are doing full gardens in their windows. They're in a small apartment, but every window has, all kinds of stuff growing. But, tomatoes, herb gardens, all the things. Cucumbers that you can then turn into pickles and all the things. You know what I mean? Y'all need to start learning how to do the things, because we're coming up on another Great Depression is what it will be. Now they're going to try to call it something else because remember, manipulation. If you have not read 1984 and Fahrenheit 451, I highly suggest you do. I mean, he has no history about the U.S. country or the Constitution. He has no idea. Like, it's astonishing. And he's the president. The U.S. has just about lost all credibility at this point. This is bad, y'all. Like, other countries are not buying the U.S. debt anymore. That is bad. That's the reason I'm saying all the farmers are being screwed. They don't have the workers to pick all the veg off the vines anymore or out of the ground anymore. So all that's going to rot. It's not going to make it into the food market. Y'all need to start gardens right now. Right now. And learn how to preserve your food. You can find all of that stuff on the internet. Like, go in and download all the videos and put them on an external hard drive or something. Save them. Don't just favorite them to save them. I mean, download them and save them. because they're gonna come after the internet. They're already going after TikTok, right? They're gonna go after all the rest too. Because toxicity can only thrive in the darkness. Toxicity cannot thrive in the light where everyone can see what's happening. Yep, exactly. I know several people who have hydroponic gardens that they're starting, and it's like 5 or 10 people or more people all working together, like, you know, buying everything up that they need to do it. One person has a basement, another person has a attic. Um, one group is they have a hydroponic garden that they're starting with just every possible vegetable, you name it, that they can cram in there, but also a mushroom garden. Yeah, learning how to cook from scratch. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to. I have kind of a block on cooking, but I'm gonna try to learn to cook from scratch. Well, I mean, I don't know why this is, but I have like a weird block when it comes to cooking. Um, I don't know. I like baking, but I don't know. I can sure help secure a perimeter though. And that's the thing. If you have like, let's say you have 10 or 20 people who all get what in are ready to build that community, have everyone go through and write down everything that you know how to do. Because I'm not good with cooking, but I can secure a perimeter. I can help you put up security cams. I can help you figure out how to do your inventory and all of that to keep track of what all you have and what you need to replace and all of those things. Like there are things I can do, like logistical planning and all of that. I've done that for years. So let's say I don't know how to do the food preservation and all that, and you do, we can trade and barter, right? Potatoes, oats, easy stuff. It will come. Yeah. Yep. I didn't mean for that to sound snarky. It's just life has been hard beforehand and it just continues. Yeah. Yep. I hear you. I didn't take that as snarky. I'm not even sure why I have a block because everyone else in my family cooks really good, I might add. I'm just not one of them. Um, also, learn basic, like Krav Maga fighting tactics. That might be a good idea. Um, right. I totally get you. Totally get you. All right, y'all. I'm gonna jump off. Go see how baby girl's doing since she got home from school, and I might jump on later. Um, I also might try to play around and see if I can get the sound to work on videos I share on this laptop. All right, listen. You have the right to live in a country that doesn't criminalize you for the dumbest shit that you can't even control. You have the right to say no, also. And you should have the right to be able to move freely in your own country and all of that good stuff. I mean, same. That's a really good skill set to have right there. Right there. That's a good skill set. Um, it's nice seeing you, and I will try to let everybody know next time I'm up and streaming, which I don't know. Maybe I'll try again here in a couple hours. I'm going to try to get the sound to work though. But do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. And don't let fear rule you. Because when you lose hope and you're ruled by fear, that's when certain types can and will take your power. Right on. And y'all, a little bit of homework for y'all. If you find any like positive groups that are doing good things, any articles that talk about solutions, all this and that. Also, do like Gavin Newsom and don't allow yourself to be bullied. Be the bully against the bullies. There you go. All right. I'll see y'all in a little bit.